And then you asked about an auto battler game for drip. That is not something that we're doing. As I said, with drip, we're pushing the new UI. We're pushing all of the major improvements and the fiat on rip and all of that. And then our focus with drip will mainly be some supporting community developers and community support of the ecosystem. And the auto battler game. So last I talked with that developer, I talked about issues with scaling and some little things like that. One of the reasons we didn't decide to kind of onboard it as it being something on our platform is because, for one, there's issues with scaling where only like hundreds of people can use it at once, where drip has hundreds of thousands of users, and we just can't launch a system where we have hundreds of thousands of users but then it stops working after 500 people get involved with it.
I mentioned that one, just mentioned it. He's like, let me see that one. So I pulled out some of the open alpha videos and I showed it to him, and right away he lit up. He's like, all right, we got something here. And I'm like,
right.
All right. Well, I agree. I agree. We got something here, but what do you want to do with it?
Right.
And it's a big project. And he just said, let me take it to the Forex and we'll get back to you.
Okay.
And so I don't know, a couple of days later, BP or someone hit me up and we had a call and we talked about it, and it went well.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just Forex. He understood what I was doing. He
right.
wasn't, he read the book and he saw it. He understands that it's a Bitcoin game. There's no native tokens liquidity pools. It's just, you go to Chuck E. Cheese and get your tokens. Well, you do the same thing here, but we use Bitcoin.
Right.
And,
exactly.
And it's and NFTs, and so it's all property, and it's just giving utility and using those two things, giving utility back and forth in a flywheel kind of machine.
Yep.
Perpetually. And he saw that. He was like, this. He ultimately said that it was bigger than drip. It was too. This thing's too big. We can't. What do you call it? I forget the term he used. But basically, like injure it by tying it to drip, because Big Boy and these other big influencers, they're not going to pick it up if it's a drip game, guys. It can't be a drip game. It's too big for that. We got to make this real big. And I was like, bro, I'd love to get $1 billion. Don't give me.
So there's that. And then also, when we were kind of working together, I came up with an economic model that was very strong for drip. So a portion of all BTC that is used to wager in the games went back to buying back drip, and then characters were sold in drip, and those characters, the drip that was utilized to buy those characters, went to the tax vault, and then there were potions that could be used for those characters, and that drip also went to the tax vault. And all costs, such as VRF costs, development costs, all of that was being taken out of the BTC, right? Okay. So it was a economic model that really benefited drip. It benefited the drip ecosystem, and the only reason we didn't move on it and completely adopt it is because of the scaling issues, because only like a few hundred people, up to like 1,000 people, could play it at once. Not play it at once, but even be participants, meaning even if they weren't all playing at the same time, it couldn't handle more than like 500 to 1,000 people to even be involved in it, right? So so there was that, and
families, and so if you want to step up and fund this person, by all means, talk. But the shark came out, and that his name from, I guess, I don't know if this is why, but maybe using the fortune percent for $0 equity. Like, dude, Kevin O'Leary wouldn't even go for that shit, man. Like, what is that?
So you wanted 70% of the game you guys developed for him to support it or sponsor it or do this bigger than drip thing he was talking about?
Yeah. To make it big.
Okay.
And it was the 70% was to pay for the marketing and pay for his team and his, and all this, and they'll handle it. And your 30% will be fortunes. You will make more on 30% than you would by yourself with 100%.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing those
negotiations
didn't go well, and that's why you're kind of going the solo route now.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there is no. I mean, how do you go from 70 to anything? There's no way I can get him.
Right.
Like it's just not going to work.
Yeah.
And so he wouldn't budge on that.
But I told him, look, if we can figure out the scaling issue, which I had a solution for the scaling issue, but he didn't want to move on it because it would take a couple extra months to build that, and he wanted to get it out right then. But then it ended up taking a few months anyways, so it should have been done. But anyways, then he tells me it's going live, and you know, I know he's going around to drip community people and drip influencers and kind of trying to build hype on it and saying that I endorsed it and all of that. But you know, I should make it clear that the economic model that I endorse is not the economic model that he's currently about to launch. And I've put a little pressure on him about that, and he has made some adjustments. But the economic model that that he was going to launch, which he was promoting with some drip influencers, was the opposite of what I helped develop with him, where drip that was spent in the game was swapped for Bitcoin, and then Bitcoin was utilized in the game. And it's like, okay, so the main utilization is selling drip? Like, no, we can't do that.
Right,
like,
we can't do that.
I can't ride with that at all. And you know, I'm gonna make that very clear. And since then, he's gotten rid of the mechanic that sells drip for Bitcoin. But the last I heard, the Bitcoin utilizing the system is no longer buying back drip, which was a major reason why I wanted to do it, because it actually creates a cash flow, a positive cash flow for drip, right? Where now, it's not. And in fact, still, although it's not swapping drip for Bitcoin anymore, he's still paying all of the dev costs and all of that stuff with drip, right?
Yeah.
And instead of the Bitcoin.
Right.
When
essentially you will have to sell the drip when you're paying the dev costs, right?
Yeah, so basically when you pay for items in game, when you pay for your drip character, all of that drip is going to be sold by him to essentially pay himself, right?
Oh, right.
That's what dev costs really mean at the end of the day. You know, if you have a responsible team, they pay developers, but in this case, he is the developer. So like, but
how exactly, since you're talking about that now, so you got the brew, and what other areas is this going to, this white label, but primarily being pushed for drip right now? How does this, in a nutshell, simplest way possible, explain how it benefits the drip community? Because that's what they want to know. So the main thing they're going to probably ask or looking for is the security, safety aspect, the trust, and what about drip, right? So you just mentioned,
let's do drip, and then we'll do the security side.
Exactly. So you just mentioned the 27 cents for the brew.
Here's how we're plugging drip, and not just drip, any partner who wants to plug into the BitFighter network. This is how it works. So first, what we do is we launch the special edition fighter. So in this case, we're going to do the Drip Fighter series. And so our normal fee structure, or the tokenomics of the NFT minting, is 50% goes to the system, 50% to the treasury. Okay. And for the partner BitFighters, what we're going to do is 50% to the system and 50% to that partner wallet. And then it's totally up to them, whatever they want to do with it. In this case with drip, I imagine we're going to be buying drip and sending it to the vault.
Yes. You won't get any pushback on that.
So anybody who gets a drip fighter, that's what they're doing. 50% of those funds go to supporting the game and creating prize pools for everybody, and creating the environment that it's meant to be. And the other 50% goes straight to the drip vault. Okay. And that's the first way.
But really, in my opinion, if you're going to be riding off of drip as like your main source of attention, because he already developed something like this and put it on Matic, in the Matic testnet and all of that, and didn't get any attention. But then he started kind of shilling at drip people, and now starting to get some attention. So we needed to hold him to the fire and say, if this isn't driving cash flow into drip and sending drip to the tax vault, but most importantly, driving capital into drip and not utilizing drip to pay for costs, we're not going to play it. Right. If it's driving cash flow into drip and taking the drip that is being utilized in game and sending it to the tax vault, then we're all for it. I'd be promoting it right now instead of, telling the community, guys, like.
Yeah, so the next piece is the brew system. And that's the other partner piece where any partner plugs into our brew system where they become a flavor on the brew machine. So you're going to this vending machine. If you guys haven't seen the videos, check them out. And you choose your flavor. And the brews are 10 bits, which comes out to be like, Bitcoin's at 27,000, so 27 cents. So right now it's around a quarter. We kind of want to keep it around a quarter because that's kind of the idea of you put a quarter in the machine to play the game. We don't want to go too much more than that. And it generates funds for the partner. 50% goes to the partner for all the brew fees. The other 50% goes to the prize pool. So 100% of the brew fees goes to the players, one way or another. Prize pools or the community that they're coming from. So we feature you on the brew machine as a flavor that players can select. So the players that you bring from your community to this game,
right?
Hopefully they're going to pick your flavor. And
Exactly.
They're going to need to pick some flavor, right?
Right.
So they're going to have to pick one of them and support one of the communities there.
Nice. So that's pretty simple, like cut and dry. So you come in, you use Bitcoin to buy the BitFighter on launch day because you're on the AVAX blockchain and then Avalanche blockchain, sorry. And then half of those funds are going to go get converted from BTC on the Avalanche blockchain and then bridge back to Binance and swap for BNB and then buy drip on the native DEX and send it to the tax vault. Is that right?
You got it, man. That's the exact path.
Perfect.
Like, even though it has a scaling issue, still, if I can't put it on our site with the scaling issue, but if he wants to run it and have 500, 1,000 users, as long as it's helping drip and buying back drip and sending drip to the tax vault, I'm cool with it. But if he's gonna be selling drip to profit for himself and use the drip community just for attention and for a source of cash flow for him, we're not down with that. So I would just tell the community, you have the power here, right? You're the one that decides whether you play, and ensure that if you're going to play this game, the dev fees and all associated game costs is coming out of the Bitcoin, because the Bitcoin is what the wagers are being placed in. The Bitcoin is the main token that's being utilized in the system. There's no reason to sell the drip, which is just part of a, to buy characters and to buy an in-game item. The main token that's being utilized in the game is Bitcoin. And the only reason why he's choosing drip to be the thing that sells is because he wants to take advantage of drip for attention, but then swap it into Bitcoin for himself and basically use the drip community as a piggy bank. Well, what he told me is that he got rid of the mechanic that is going to be swapping drip for Bitcoin at least, but there still is, what he said is half or about half of the drip that's utilized in the game is paying for associated dev costs in the game, and the other half will go to the tax vault. And there's nothing buying back drip. We're not going for that, right? So what we need is the Bitcoin, or at least a portion of the Bitcoin that's utilized in the game, is buying back drip and sending it to the tax vault, and all drip spent in the game goes to the tax vault. Any capital that's going to dev fees or any associated costs is coming out of the Bitcoin. And if he wants the drip community on board and he wants to get attention from the drip community and get us to be promoting it and being happy about it and supporting it, that's what needs to happen. Because otherwise you're just taking advantage of the drip community, and and we're not for that.
So let's we'll talk about how so BitFighters is supposed to be like this white label machine that can give any other project BitFighter utility and plug into Bitcoin. And that's what it was made for. And when Ray hit me up about using this game, and I said, okay, we can plug drip into this easy. I mean, it's so easy to write into the system. We have a drink, like a potion, the brew item in the game, the quintessential potion that everyone needs. If you're going to go battle and take damage, you're going to have to heal if you want to go fight again.
Right.
I don't know anyone who's going to want to go put their money on a fight, 50% health.
Unless
you're crazy like that, I'm sure there's going to be dudes out there doing that.
Take the odds.
Yeah, right. I'm going to save my 27 cents. my 10 bits.
Yeah.
And YOLO this one.
Want to pay your in real life bills with crypto? How about send crypto directly to anyone with a bank account? Spritz Finance is a decentralized solution to be your own bank and connect your crypto earnings to real world bills and payments. They do not take custody of your assets and allow support on multiple blockchains and Web3 wallets. Sign up below using my referral link and you will get $50 back when you make your first $50 bill payment with crypto. Additionally, I will be using referral bonuses to airdrop, donate, or burn based on community feedback. Sign up now.